Here's the thing nobody told me when I started making films. The industry is not waiting for it. There's no moment where someone watches your short and calls you up and says, "You're ready, come on in, we love you." There's no committee, there's no rite of passage where you finally earn the right to make your movie. And that thought used to really terrify me. That wait for approval. Now it's the thing I'm most grateful for, because the filmmakers who are actually making things was building real careers, telling real stories, getting their work in front of real audiences. They're not waiting for permission. They figured out something that honestly took me a while to learn. You don't need anyone's yes but your own. My name is Enrico Natale. I produce 25 independent feature films. No studios, no development deals, no one handed me anything. And today, I want to show you the complete system I've used to do it, from the very first idea all the way through distribution. And yeah, I built a course around it because I want to share that with you. So come on, let's get started. All right, let me take you back to the earlier part of my career where I had a project that I believed in, a script that was solid, producing partners that I loved. We had a cast that made total sense for the project, and I was doing everything right. I was pitching it, networking, going to events, trying to get the right people in the right room, and it was going nowhere. Not because the project wasn't good. It was a good project. At least I thought it was a good project. I mean, I think it is. But I was playing a game that wasn't designed for me to win. I was waiting for someone to validate the thing so I could go make it. And the gatekeepers, the financiers, the distributors, the executives, they weren't saying no. They were saying maybe, which is way worse than no, because maybe keeps you in place for years. At some point I just thought, what if I just stopped asking? What if I went and made the thing myself and got it into the world and did it all myself and just built it from there? So I did, and it worked. Not perfectly, because nothing works perfectly, okay? But it worked. Something shifted in how I understood the business. The multi-hyphenate filmmaker isn't the filmmaker who can't afford to hire everyone. That's what people think of it as. The multi-hyphenate filmmaker is the one who understands the whole machine, who can write and produce and direct and get a movie made because they've stopped outsourcing their vision to people who don't share it with them. That's what I've been doing for 25 feature films. The filmmakers who thrive are the ones who take ownership of every phase. Not because they do every job themselves. They do it because they understand every job. They know what they need. They know how to ask for it, and they know when something's going wrong before it's too late to fix it. That's the skill. That's the multi-hyphenate filmmaker, and it can be learned. Which brings me to the two questions. Before I commit to any project, my own or anyone else's, I run it through two questions. They're the questions I wish someone had handed me on day one. Question one, is the project strong and marketable? Now look, nobody goes to film school dreaming about marketability, right? But here's the thing, a film that nobody sees is not a film that's helping anyone, including you. Marketability doesn't mean you're compromising your vision. It means your vision has a home in this world. It means there are people who want to see this thing as much as you want to make it. So when I ask, is it strong and marketable? I'm really asking, is this a real story told well that has an identifiable audience? Is there a version of this that a distributor can sell? Is there a reason to believe someone will pay to watch it? And if the answer is yes to those, we move on to question two. And if it's not, you have to rethink your story. Sorry, that's just it. Question two, does it serve a purpose? What is this film actually doing? Not in the grandiose art changes lives way, though sometimes it does, and it's amazing. I love it. But more practically, why does this story need to exist right now? What does it give the audience that they can't get somewhere else? What are you uniquely positioned to tell? This is the question that separates a competent film from a meaningful one. And it's the question most filmmakers skip because it's honestly the harder one to answer. Here's what I found. If you can answer both of these honestly, if your project is strong, marketable, and it serves a purpose, you can get it made. You can get it funded. You can get it in front of people. The path is going to be hard because it's always hard, but it exists. If you can't answer yes to both of them, then you have more work to do. Not on the pitch, but on the project itself. You have to refine your story. It's not ready. I promise you. I call this the 2-question filter. It's the first thing I teach in my course because everything downstream depends on getting this right. If your story doesn't work, nothing else is gonna work. Full stop. Run your current project through it right now. I'll wait. Okay, so you've got a project that answers both questions. What now? Well, let me walk you through the phases of actually making an independent film. Not theoretically, but practically. Because most filmmakers, they get derailed not because they don't have talent, but because they don't know what they don't know. And sometimes that's a lot. Writing. This is where everything starts. And the most common mistake I see is writers who fall in love with their first draft. The first draft is just you figuring out what the story is. The second and third drafts are where it becomes something someone else can care about. Trust me, you gotta know the difference and don't rush the page to production. I've done it before and it's a bad idea. I have an entire module on my course dedicated to this because without a good story, everything else fails. Everything else fails miserably. Producing. This is the job that makes all the other jobs possible. Budgets, financing, attaching talent, packaging the project, protecting the creative integrity of the film, huge one. This is where a film lives or dies long before anyone calls action. The filmmakers who can produce their own work have an enormous advantage over the ones who can't. Pre-production. This is where the film actually gets designed. Script breakdown, scheduling, casting, technical prep. If you do pre-production well, the shoot is calm. If you skip it, the shoot is going to be chaotic. I've had both. Do pre-production well. You should walk into day one already having shot your film once in your head. Directing. The thing people ask me most about this is how to work with actors. And the answer is you have to actually know what you want from the actors. Not just the blocking or not just the line reading. You have to understand what the scene is doing emotionally and be able to communicate it without making the actor feel like a puppet. That's a skill. It takes practice to do that, but it's learnable. If you actually care to learn it, you can learn it. Editing. The film you made is not the film you're going to have. The edit is where you discover what you actually shot. Stay curious. Don't fall in love with what you planned. Fall in love with what you have and be prepared to have a panic attack after you watch your first rough assembly. It's gonna happen. It's part of the process. It's okay. You're gonna help. Post-production, color, sound, music, VFX, deliverables. Get your sound right. I cannot stress this enough. An audience will forgive mediocre picture quality, but they will immediately turn off a film with bad sound inside of 5 minutes. Distribution. This is where most indie filmmakers feel completely lost. And honestly, the landscape changes constantly. Festivals, sales agents, streaming platforms, self-distribution, hybrid models. There are more paths to an audience than there ever have been, and more noise to cut through. The filmmakers who figure it out treat distribution not as an afterthought. You have to think about it. Let's build your company. Making one film is an achievement, but building a career is a different project. That means understanding your brand, your relationships, your revenue streams, and thinking of yourself not just as a filmmaker, but as a business. AI and filmmaking. What to know and how to protect yourself. And my personal favorite module, the no budget project. There's no reason why you can't go make the damn thing right now. Learn to do just that. All right, that's the map. 11 modules, all of it covered in depth with toolkits and templates for every phase, which brings me to what I actually built. It's called the Indie Film Method, and it's my multi-hyphenate filmmaker masterclass. It's 94 lessons across 11 modules. Everything I just described in depth with actual tools I use on my productions. This is the stuff film school doesn't cover. The practical, the unglamorous, the essential knowledge of actually producing your own work and getting it into the world. This is also not a shortcut. There is no shortcut. And anyone who tells you there is, they're lying. What this is a system, a tested, real world, I've done this 25 times system for moving a project from the first idea to the screen. Inside you get all 11 modules. Every module, it has a toolkit, a PDF resource you can actually use on your next project. The biggest thing I'm excited about is that we're building a community of multi-hyphenate filmmakers, and that's been a goal of mine forever, guys. This matters to me, and I can't wait to share it with you. The filmmakers inside the Indie Film Method are working on real projects. It's not a comment section. It's a room, and I'm in the room too, being a community for each other. That's what this is about. It's one enrollment, and you get lifetime access, every feature update, Link is in the description. Come join me. I built this because I spent years making mistakes that nobody needed to make. Because the filmmakers I admire most are the ones who showed up and made their thing without waiting for an invitation. That could be you. That's who this is for. You just need to go make the damn thing. If you want the system for how to do that, come join us inside the Eating to Film method. If you're not ready for that yet, just subscribe to the channel. It's free. And I'm going to keep making videos about the craft and the business of independent filmmaking. I'll interview people, multi-hyphenate filmmakers, real stuff from my experience. So stop waiting for someone to say yes. Go make the film. Do it. I'll see you inside.